The regular season is over. Early signing day has passed. Bowl season is about to begin. Their season is over. Well, it was over after the loss to Boston College. But Florida State continues to keep taking L's in 2024. They took an L in getting shut out of the college football playoff. They took a massive L in the embarrassment that was the Georgia game. They continued to make idiots of themselves, complaining throughout the entire year about how they got screwed out of the CFP. They looked like morons constantly going after Kirk Herbstreit and others that sided with the committee against them. They were suing the ACC to get out of the conference. They were suing ESPN out of their media rights deal, constantly saying that the ACC has become too devalued of a conference, and now they're just no longer interested in playing in it, or so they were saying at the time, because now it's a different story. Right here, I have an article written from USA Today. Mr. Matt Hayes of the USA Network uploaded December 11th, but it was updated earlier this morning. After formal ACC exit, Florida State now says we never wanted to leave. Stop the cap. Las Vegas, nearly 16 months after its formal notice of withdrawal from the ACC, Florida State has taken a new and non-public stance as its acrimonious lawsuit against the conference continues to play out. Who said we ever wanted to leave the ACC? So then why are you suing the ACC then? We're in the league the last time I looked. FSU Athletic Director Mike Alford told USA Sports Today during the Sports Business Journal Intercollegiate Forum, we never said we wanted to leave. Actually, they did. In Florida State's December 2023 lawsuit against the ACC, on page 32 of the 38-page complaint, item 151 states Florida State be deemed to have issued its formal notice of withdrawal from the ACC under section 1.4.5 of the ACC Constitution, effective August 14th of 2023. At issue is the school's media rights deal with the ACC through 2036, which, according to Florida State officials, tops out at $42 million annually. Nearly $30 million behind the annual payout to neighboring SEC schools. When they say that, they're referring to Florida, their in-state rival, Bama, Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, teams within the southeastern part of the U.S. in the SEC. That's who they refer to when they say SEC schools. During an August 2023 meeting, the Florida State Board of Trustees said it wanted an exit plan from the ACC by August of this year. Excuse me, sorry about that. I had to yawn. August of 2024. It's not a matter of if we leave, former Seminoles quarterback and board member Drew Rutherford said during the 2023 meeting, but when and how. I remember Drew Rutherford. He got his ass kicked by Florida a lot. When asked yesterday whether Rutherford at the SBJ Forum, Sports Business Journal, as the founding partner of the Weatherford Capital, which is seeking to partner with universities in unsettling financial climate for college athletics, softened his stance from 2023. There's a lot of potential answers to the problem. Long term, it's going to be hard to compete if you're at that financial disadvantage, which is ironic because the teams that Florida State said were devaluing the ACC, they get nothing out of playing in bowl games or playing in extra football games beyond the regular season. SMU got nothing. They didn't make a single dime for playing in that ACC championship game. When asked if Florida State was still positioned to lead the ACC, Weatherford said, we just have to solve for the financial disadvantage. That's in parentheses, kind of paraphrasing here. If we can do that where we are with the ACC, parentheses, that's great. If we can't, I'm still open to the option that we need to find another conference. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips declined comment for this story. The ACC is arguing that it owns Florida State's media rights under a grant of rights deal that every team in the conference signed to leave the league FSU would pay the ACC an exit fee of $125 million in future media rights deal through 2036, estimated at nearly $500 million. And FSU is going to be staying in the ACC for a while. They're not paying that much. While those numbers could be mitigated through legal action, the underlying problem for Florida State moving forward is that it has no alternative to the ACC. 3 people told USA Today earlier this spring, that the Seminoles landing in the Big Ten or ACC wasn't realistic. The sources spoke on the condition of anonymity to protect the sensitivity of the discussions. The Big Ten, the people said, had reservations about Florida State's ability to be a strong partner moving forward. And now it appears that the Seminoles have nowhere to go is settling. The reality that the Seminoles have nowhere to go is settling in. I mean, yeah, they could be an independent again. I mean, they were independent before they joined the ACC. We've always questioned the revenue distribution. Alfred said, go back in history, you'll never see the president or myself say we want it out of the league. We have great peer institutions and we're a lot alike. We've always had great communication. Jim Phillips and I, from day one, were trying to solve the problem. When asked if the FSU and the ACC were any closer to reaching a resolution, Alfred said, who knows? That's not for me to decide. I'm not on that side of the wall. We'll see where we stand. Okay. So he's saying that, you will never see the president or myself say we want out of the league. But if you go back to this article earlier, they literally filed paperwork saying that they're suing the ACC for a chance to withdraw from the ACC. The ACC said that. The ACC literally came out and said, no, not only did you publicly claim that you wanted to be out of the conference, excuse me, gotta go back. Not only did you publicly claim you wanted to be out of the conference, here is the paperwork that you filed against us saying that you were going to sue us in order to withdraw yourself from the conference. So you publicly, verbally, and from a legal aspect, filed litigation in order to get out of the conference. So you did make it clear that you wanted to leave the conference. 2024 has just been not friendly to the Florida State football program whatsoever. I mean, not even just the wins and losses, but just everything off the field, acting like spoiled, entitled brats about the college football playoff, constantly harassing Kirk Herbstreit, to the point where I remember he sent out a tweet saying, if any one of you FSU fans ever touch me this season, he basically told me he was going to beat their ass because FSU fans were threatening him throughout the whole time. Danny Cannell constantly bitching and moaning on X. Florida State fans, Florida State University making these ridiculous undefeated rings, celebrating an undefeated season that never was. Because you got your ass kicked by Georgia in that game. But according to you guys, it didn't matter. That game was meaningless because, well, our guys opted out. Bowl games are meaningless. Well, you guys definitely showed that this year because you got your butts kicked by almost everybody that you came up against. The California Golden Bears should be ashamed of themselves for even losing to these teams. Not even just from a football standpoint, but just losing to these people because that's the way they've acted. The people of FSU have acted like spoiled, entitled children, rotten children to the core. That's really sad that everything else has happened this way. That really is. They should have never even filed the notion that they were gonna withdraw to get out of the ACC because like I said right here, if they leave, they're going to have to pay the ACC a boatload of money, and they're not doing that. Now, they're not doing it now because they have a bunch of years left in the contract. Let's see how much bolder they are when the closer they get to that 2036, deadline. In that case, you could probably see Florida State leave that conference then. And then maybe that exit fee won't be so stiff. But this is just sad that their athletic director lied like that. Oh, we never said we wanted to leave the ACC. We just spent the entire spring and summer complaining about it and filing a lawsuit against it and having an exit plan by the start of the regular season. And then y'all put up that pathetic performance on the football field this year. getting mad at Florida for planting a football flag. Your football team was a bigger insult to your logo than what anything Florida did. Florida could have that George Gums, the guy who planted the Florida flag, he could have literally have dropped his trousers and defecated on that logo, and it would have been a better compliment to FSU than the football team. They were terrible this year. They got their butts beat by everybody, damn near. Like I said, Cal, you should be ashamed of yourselves, and these people should be ashamed of themselves for the way they've carried themselves. They've carried themselves unprofessional. They've carried themselves like children. FSU, once again, embarrassing itself in 2024 on its way out. They came into 2024 embarrassing themselves. They spent the entire calendar year embarrassing themselves, and now they're embarrassing themselves on the way out. Just a sad group of individuals. And I hope they have another bad season the year after, not even just as a Florida Gator fan, just the way they've carried themselves. I hope they have bad years for multiple years to come. So, hey, we'll see y'all in 2025, and we'll see how much better y'all be this time around.